Hi, Cindy Padilla here, and I am celebrating my 5-year entrepreneurial birthday. So 5 years ago in November, I made the brave leap to leave my six-figure, anything I've ever known before, job. And so I'm super excited to celebrate this and share a bit of my journey with you. And one of the reasons I really feel compelled to share this at this point is because I realize that there are a lot of entrepreneurial women out there, a lot of business owners out there. You're just starting out or you're 1 or 2 years in, and the 5-year mark, sometimes it comes and sometimes it doesn't. And I just want to share from my heart some of the things that really made it possible for me and Jim to continue and persevere through and be celebrating, for me personally, to be celebrating a 5-year entrepreneurial journey is pretty freaking exciting. Yeah, it is. And so I hope this message is inspirational to some woman, many women out there who are in it or thinking about jumping into this crazy entrepreneurial world. And I realize what I've accomplished is even a bigger rarity in the fact that I'm a female, a woman business owner who created a 7-figure business. And it's successful, it's still up and running. And I think the craziest part is never in my wildest dreams did I think this was going to be my life. First off, I never set out to be an entrepreneur, to be a business owner, to set the world on fire. I didn't, it was never on my radar. I was never researching or daydreaming about being an entrepreneur. I mean, why would I? I don't have any entrepreneurial role models in my family. My parents, Mexican American, military background, stay-at-home mom, married 43 years, buy one home, you live there forever, you work one job and you retire from that forever. I mean, it is as middle American 1950s dream life as how I was raised. And that was my aunts and my uncles and everybody around me. That was what I saw. So the fact that I'm here is a freaking act of God and a miracle. And there's so many layers to this journey. I have notes. I wanted to share so much and I don't want to leave any of it out. And as I look back, I'm like, how did this happen? How did I end up here? And now, hindsight's 2020. So as I look back, I do see there were indicators where I was starting to get disgruntled or feeling a little disruptive in the course that my life was progressing on. I see I had a 20+ year successful career in retail management. I ran stores, for Target and for Gap, and I loved it. Like it really was a lot of fun, and I learned a lot, and I worked with amazing teams, and really that's what kept me there 20+ years, was the fact that it was always evolving and always changing. But there came a point 6-7 years ago where I really started to be like, something isn't right anymore. And the first indicator was I left my job at Target, and I'd been there 15-16 years with Target Corporation. So it was a big deal. I mean, it's a company that I still adore, and there was a lot of prestige and a lot of security of being part of that company. But something wasn't right anymore, so I left to go to Gap. I thought, well, let's find something that I am more engaged with the team, I'm closer and more interactive with the clients and the customers, and I can just be a different leader. I felt like a different level of leadership was being called forth. So I made the leap and I left Target and I went to Gap, and I had a blast. I was there just a little over 2 years, and I had the most fun ever. And again, incredible teams, incredible company, and at the same time, here I was 46, and starting a new job, and I decided I'm going to get a master's degree. So that tells me now, looking back, that the reason I went after that master's degree in organizational leadership is because there was something in me that still didn't feel like enough. I felt that I still needed something else externally to prove my worth and to maybe help me get ahead in business and in life, that it would fill something that apparently needed filling, but at the time I didn't even know what it was. So, I'm getting my degree, I'm learning a new job and a new company, and I'm graduating, and everybody's asking me, so I'm 48 now, and everybody's asking me, well, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now that you got a master's degree? And I was like, I don't freaking know. I really didn't. So we're, at this time, it's September, October, November. We're gearing up for Christmas and Black Friday at Old Navy, which, if you know anything about that, is complete insanity. And I actually loved it. I did. I actually loved it. But I was able to squeeze in one last trip, the first part of November, before the holiday complete craziness started. And I was able to get away to Yosemite with two of my daughters for a birthday celebration. And I remember just discussing, the unease and the stirring that I was feeling. And I started talking about, the movie The Secret, and just really kind of being enlightened and made aware of different things that were out there, different ways of thinking and being and moving through the world. And I really can't explain it. All I can tell you is something dramatically shifted in me during that trip. And I did not come back the same woman. I got the intuitive hit, and I got the message from God, and I got the assurance from God that it was time to leave retail. So I did. I came home, and it's like November 1st or 2nd, and I asked Jim, my husband, to meet me in the front room, and we had a conversation, and I just let him know that it was time. And he knew. I was miserable, I was exhausted, I was drinking a lot of wine, I was crying a lot, I was moody and cranky, I wasn't healthy, I just wasn't happy. Even though I like the people I worked with, I wasn't happy being who I was anymore. So he said yes, and we agreed it was time, and I left my job. And I had no idea what was happening. I had no idea what was next. I literally gave 21-day notice. And this is just think, I didn't even know this was going to happen. I didn't have a plan. I just had it here, and God was speaking deeply to me, and I moved. And so I gave 21-day notice. My last day at Old Navy was the day before Black Friday on 2013. Yeah. And I entered a whole new world of coaching and personal development, business coaching, sales, building a business from scratch, live events and mentors and coaching and all of that. I didn't even know it existed. No awareness. And so I'm grateful that I'm a fast learner, that I'm really smart, and I'm a fast learner. I have incredible background in leadership and business and building teams. So it started coming to me quickly. Jim and I started doing what you are doing out there as you're building your business. We started networking. We were going to all the live events. I was online like crazy looking for, the next event to go to, and who are we going to really learn this business building strategy from. And, I look back at that time now with some pretty sweet fondness, and I just look back at me 5 years ago, and I think, wow, what a little girl she was. What a little baby she was, building her business and really having no clue. And again, by the grace of God and the fact that I worked my butt off and and I followed the right mentors and we made some great decisions along the way. I am here and I'm here to share this with you, that it's possible. It really is possible. And I remember being still, so new in this world, and we attended an event and we actually, found our mentors, two beautiful souls who really kind of catapulted Jim and our business model and us in business, and we're forever grateful for that. I remember being at an event and someone asked me, so what do you do? And that was such a painful question for me early on after leaving my job, because I didn't feel I had an identity anymore. I wasn't attached to Target. I wasn't attached to Gap. We had yet to really build a business of our own that had some substance and a reputation and history to it. So it was like heartbreaking. And when someone asked me that, it was really, really hard, because I'm like, I don't know who I am and I don't know what I do anymore. And I met this woman who she was like, oh my gosh, you are so still deeply mourning your loss. And I was like, I didn't get it at first. And then when I got it, it was like, she's right. I was mourning the loss of my prior identity, of everything that I'd ever known and been taught and grown up with, from who I'm going to be, how I'm going to be successful in life, what my life is going to look like, the progression of my life, my thoughts, my patterns, my beliefs, my everything no longer made sense. And much, much, much of it was no longer relevant. So that's what I was mourning. And it was hard. It was really, really hard. And it's still sensitive, right? Because it was such a big part of who I was. It was a big part of my life. And there was a ton of success. And there was a ton of joy and learnings and blessings. And so none of that I want to forget, but so much of it I had to leave behind. And that was probably and is the journey. That's the journey as you build your business, women. I have spent the last 5 years unlearning and shedding and releasing and stepping away from everything that I'd ever known. Again, thoughts, patterns, limiting beliefs, and the way I thought the world worked, and the way I thought business worked, and the way I thought I wanted to work and move through life. So I share this with you because I know there's so many women out there that are building their businesses. So maybe you are brand new and you're still super sensitive and you don't know who you are and it's scary and you don't quite have your identity. It's okay. It's okay. Or maybe you're a few years in, but now there's a new level, right? You're scaling and you're leveraging and you're bringing on team and you're growing. There's new layers that will unearth and that need to fall away so that you can step in. Or maybe you were the me 5 years ago where you were still in your job, but you knew you weren't going to be there much longer. You don't know how or why or what's actually happening, but you're not going to be there much longer. Or maybe you are even a step ahead of me in that space and you have a passion to get out there and build a business. This is for you. I don't claim to have all the answers or any magical or mystical fairy dust that turns everything beautiful and pain-free and successful in my life. That's not how it works. I do claim to know a lot about business, about building a business and a life that is built on my core values of my faith, my deep abiding faith in God, my deep abiding love for my family, and my desire for great fortunes in this world so I can do a lot of good in this world. So those are my core tenets as I'm building my business. And I feel like I've spent literally, again, the last 5 years unlearning. And yes, there are business strategies and core competencies and basic daily business building tasks that you do over and over and over again. But the number one takeaway I want for you today is that you need to be firmly rooted and deeply grounded in your values. Whatever they are, know your values and have those roots run deep, because you'll be tested and you'll be tempted to pull up roots and run. And what's going to keep you here, what's going to have you sharing and celebrating your 5-year entrepreneurial birthday is your faith. It's your unwavering faith, and it's your unshakable belief in your values and your life's purpose and what you're put on this planet to do. So every day, woman, you do the work. Every day you do the work to build your faith, to sustain yourself, to deepen your roots, and to set the intention every day to live out your values, have an amazing life, and a business that brings you fortunes so you can do much good.